Happy post Super Bowl hangover, guys. What's happening? Good to see ya. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Welcome to Film Junkee Live. Let's have some fun, huh? We're going to talk about some of those Super Bowl trailers. Why not? Gotta talk about some of the Super Bowl stuff. Hit that like, thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Do all the things, guys. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Of course, we'll talk about Super Bowl yesterday, doing all that stuff, controversies and whatnot. Jesus Christ, I tell you, it's all crazy. But let's see who's out there. How we doing out there, guys? We got Digigamer. Hope you enjoyed the halftime show when everyone was salsa dancing. And I thought about you and your yeah, definitely. Me and her did a lot of dancing. And, obviously, may she rest in peace. My Nana, who passed away, coming up on 2 years. Crazy. Coming up on 2 years. So, rest in peace, Nana. But yeah, she would have definitely liked the halftime show, I think. For sure. What's going on, Mr. Ghoul right here, currently watching you and the Olympics at the same time. Well, jeez. I mean, I'm more of an athlete than those guys. Come on. Just kidding. Lindsey Vonn, beast. Good on her. What's going on, Mr. Axel Droga? What's going on? The anime Hellsing Ultimate. 20 years ago today. You gotta give it a watch sometime. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to do that. Maybe I'll have to do that one of these times. Clone Avenger, what's happening? I was glad to see the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Defense destroyed the Patriots. Seriously. Also, I know somebody that put $700 on the Patriots. Can't wait to grill him on that. He thought they were going to win by 2 touchdowns. That is insane. Wasn't able to watch the Super Bowl till the end of the third quarter because of work, but saw the commercials during the Olympics that were... I know. They just started playing because we were where I was at. We started watching the Olympics too, and they just started replaying the commercials. So, what's going on, Monique? What do you got cooking tonight? Marvelous Monday to you. It's no peak chicken and rice. No peak chicken. That's interesting. Interesting little title for that, and rice casserole in my house. Nice. Love it. We got Taladia. What's happening? Good to see you. We got Kev. What's happening? Versus Seed. What's going on? Reading Berserk. Is that Berserk? That's not the Keanu Reeves one, is it? Dell, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you out there. We got Black Mamba. Also, what's happening? We got Hardboiled, Mr. Eric right there. Amelia Alcock. Being hot aside, there's only one Supergirl film to compare to and didn't exactly do well, so very true. Fear Jason, what is happening? Oh yeah, bringing out that Spanish. Did you learn some Spanish watching that halftime show? And the old 90s commercial jingle for chicken tonight is now stuck in my head. Nice. Love it. No peak chicken. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up. I've never heard of no peak chicken. All right, let me see this. You've piqued my interest. Haha. And look at that. It comes up right away. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. My mom's made this. What am I talking about? I totally have had this before. Yeah. Okay. She just never called it no peak chicken. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, my mom's. Yeah. No peak chicken and casserole. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Mama Film Junkie has made this before. So, good stuff. But, yeah, no. That's what Monique does. She makes us hungry. Curling is the easiest. Yeah, but, again, I love how majestic it is. I love watching some curling, man. I love it. Hungry for some spaghetti and meatballs. Grew up speaking and singing in Spanish. Oh, yeah. Texas, of course. Cool. That's cool, man. I love that. But no, yeah, curling, there's just something majestic, especially when they, when the person has to, get in that crazy position to, let the rock, go. I talked about this on the Vodka stream because the opening ceremony was happening, obviously, on Friday, and I totally forgot about it. And I always love going down the rabbit hole of the videos where everybody's like, look at how Satanist this is. Look at this. This is like a ritual. And, it's fun because, yeah, even I was like going, yeah, that does look like a pentagram. Hey, you know what? I sometimes look at that when you got like stuff like that. You got the all the stuff with the Epstein files and how that's just seems to just be a mess, and that's not fully coming out, and it's kind of coming out, and all the stuff like that. You just kind of wonder, like the people who are running this goddamn planet, you just don't know. And sometimes you go, yeah, that does look a little weird, but hey, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we got plenty to talk about. Obviously, when it comes to all this stuff, we got some DCU stuff, Supergirl, Puppy Bowl, new footage, new poster of Puppy Krypto, which was pretty adorable. And then I'll probably read some comments because I posted it last night when I got home, and then I went to bed and I didn't pay attention. And of course, when I wake up to a slew of comments and everything. So I think I'm gonna read some of those. Why not? Let's have some fun with that, because you know how it is when it comes to this discourse and everything. But and then of course we're going to talk about Spider-Man, Brand New Day. A certain character has been revealed, which then reveals more, basically confirms something, which you guys probably already know what that is. We'll talk about the box office, and then we'll go over some of those Super Bowl trailers, which, no superhero trailers, but we got some pretty decent trailers that came out, when it came to everything. And then, yeah, when it comes to the Super Bowl, honestly, that was like the highlight of the weekend. Saturday I didn't really do anything, but just, I just stayed home, worked on things. Well, I don't know why. I got on a whole the VHS franchise, the found footage anthology franchise, where you get one story that plays in between like 4 or 5 different stories. That's all found footage. It's all on VHSs. I love those movies, and I have the AMC Plus app, and they're all on there. So I just the past 2 weekends I've been catching up. I didn't realize how many goddamn VHS movies there are. I knew there was more and more, but man, I was catching up. 1995, VHS 1992, VHS 1985, VHS 1999. They're all not great, but they're fun. I like those movies. I really like those movies. So I caught up more on that. I finally got up to last year. They released VHS Halloween. And like I said, found footage, you do found footage right, it's freaky as fuck. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. You'll see one of the stories, and it just plays out like a movie, and it doesn't even feel like it's a VHS or found footage. They take some liberties with it. But if you do it just right, like that first VHS movie was holy shit, and then there was one after. There was one that had an alien craft, aliens were basically abducting this family. That's probably one of the best ones. It is so goddamn creepy, man. I love the VHS movies. Anyways, rambling on. So I went to a buddy's house for a little Super Bowl party. Lots of food and beers and all the good stuff. And watching it, and boring game. What a disappointing game. I'm happy for Seahawks fans. Mama Film Junkie and nephew Film Junkie. They are Seahawks fans, so obviously I was rooting for the Seahawks. And congratulations to the Seahawks. I think everybody kind of assumed that they were going to win, but man, the Patriots just could not break through that. I thought they were going to get shut out for a minute there. I thought for the whole first half there was no touchdowns. It was all. They were putting the foot in football because it was nothing but goddamn field goals and punts that were going on. I'm like, this is real fucking football right here. And I was like, yeah, just a boring, underwhelming game. I was hoping it was going to be, the previous games of the playoffs were so much better. So much better. And then, of course, there's the whole thing with the halftime show when it came to Bad Bunny. I don't know Bad Bunny's music. And what did I think of the halftime show? It's fine. I actually was like, oh, yeah, they actually did a really good job with that. There was a lot of production that went into that. I was actually I was like, wow, look at the cameras and everything and how everything's coordinated. I was like, good job. I couldn't help but be like, oh yeah, this is groovy. It's not making me want to go buy Bad Bunny music. I still am like, well, I'm not gonna go out there, and I'm not a fan now, but I was like, decent. Yeah, I didn't watch the Kid Rock thing. I saw clips, and yikes. That's all I have to say about that. I'm like, yeah, I saw that, and I was kind of like, yeesh, all right. hey, pick your poison. But why does everything have to be, I don't know, everything has to be political. Everything has to be this, that, and that, and whatever the hell. I don't know. It all just gets ridiculous. But I actually, like I said, I actually thought the halftime show was, it was decent. I was okay with it. I thought it was like very well done. Lady Gaga showed up. Ricky Martin showed up. I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, but the game was just, ugh. And then the commercials are fine. I don't know. It just, for some reason, it just, the Super Bowl hype just wasn't there like it usually is. It just felt like it was underwhelming a little bit. I don't know. Like it just didn't feel like there. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or I don't know. I know some other people were kind of thinking that too. Where it's just like, yeah, Super Bowl, all right. I mean, the Dunkin' Donuts, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston. That was a cool commercial. That was probably one of the best ones. The one I love the Budweiser commercial when it came to like the Clydesdale, and then he finds the bird, and it's a little baby eagle, and then the eagle rises, and it was a really cool commercial. But it's just funny because we all know what happened when it came to Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch. When going through that period of like, hey, we're gonna try to pivot our focus to this audience over here, and that totally backfired because people like Kid Rock, took a machine gun to like a bunch of cases of Bud Light, which is just a waste of Bud Light. But now they're just like, oh, no, remember, we're back. We got the horses back. We got the eagle back. Cool commercial, but man, they were just like, we know where our audience is. America. It was just funny, but anyways, yeah. But yeah, I saw only clips of the Kid Rock show. I mean, if Kid Rock's your choice, that's fine. I've never been a Kid Rock fan. I saw him live once, and he was actually pretty good. It was one of there's the radio stations over here, K-Rock. It was K-Rock. It wasn't a weenie roast. It was because they used to host like weenie roasts, but it was like some kind of K-Rock thing, and it was all a bunch of bands. Like I saw Cypress Hill, Kid Rock, and I was actually like, oh wow, this guy's pretty talented. He was playing like all the instruments. The dude's talented. Dude is talented. I'll give him that. I just never really liked the music. I just never really liked his style of music. So I never was really a fan. And then I mainly went because the Foo Fighters were playing and Smashing Pumpkins, and so it was a cool little concert. That was like years ago. That was like 2000 fucking I don't know 7, 8, something like that. It was a while ago. But anyways, so overall, like I said, it was underwhelming, but I had fun. I was hanging out with friends and doing all things. Hopefully you guys had fun too. Kid Rock Pete's 25 years ago. Yeah. Bow with the bow, the bang, diggy, diggy. Yeah, and I never got into him. So the whole thing when it comes to that, I'm like, hey, you know what? Cool, fine. I guess live streaming, it was it was a big live stream, but the overall views, of course, when you're doing that measuring contests, it's like, of course, people watch the halftime show of Bad Bunny more than they watched the Kid Rock one. Yeah, for sure, and whatever. And then, of course, Trump wasn't happy. He was like, what, how dare they? And it's like, Jesus Christ. Even though somebody caught, because there was pictures from Trump's, Super Bowl party, and they literally had the Bad Bunny halftime show on in the background. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? Everything's fake. We live in a big reality show. The whole world is basically a reality show, but America is like it's the epicenter. It's just, this country is like the epicenter of the reality show that is life. I tell you what. So, but it's whatever. So that's what, like I said, it was still entertaining enough, but it was just kind of yeah, everything's fake there, Andrew. Yeah, we live in a matrix. I'm trying to summon my Neo powers. If I could fly or do some things. But anyways, and then of course, Monday. I know it sucks when it always sucks. You should always take the Monday off, and I should have, because I should have just stayed at my friends and just kept going, but I didn't. I was like, nah, I was responsible, guys. At the party, I was like, all right. I was looking at my watch. I'm like, I better stop drinking right now. So I stopped drinking a couple hours before everything. And I was like, all right, water, do all the things. And I got home pretty late and then just crashed, which was good. But still, I got home kind of late. I got home at like almost 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, damn, I should have just taken the day off today. But I work from home, so it's like why waste the day unless you're really gonna do something. I can't see myself doing that. Truman Show. That's right there, bud. All right. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. They talk shit on Bad Bunny and called him, good to see you, Stephanie, by the way, a fake American, and they still watch the show. Yeah, they still watch the show. I mean, I know he's like done some controversial things. I've seen like where he's like burned the American flag and stuff like that, which I know there's like, it's again, right and left. You could just like pick apart all the weird things that the right and the left do. Again, this is why a lot of us just remain in the middle when it comes to all this stuff like that. Like I wasn't sitting there going, I mean, I was making the joke like when I was at the party, I'm like, oh, you're here for the Bad Bunny halftime show. What's your favorite song? And nobody has a favorite song because yeah, a lot of people don't. He has a demographic, and then it's more international, which is totally fine. But like I said, when we were watching it, we were all pleasantly surprised on how actually well it was done, production-wise. It was done pretty well, and I found myself kind of like bobbing my head a little bit to the music and everything. I was feeling the vibe. You know, I was letting that, inner Mexican in me, like Gamer was saying, start seeing the salsa stuff, It's part of it. So anyways, enough of that. Hopefully you guys had a good Monday as well. Let's get started right here. How about this fan casting for the DCU? I've seen this one before, and I saw it again, and I went, you know what? Not too bad, because it's kind of interesting when it comes to James Gunn and the DCU, and I think he's maybe even responded to the fact that when are we going to see the Flash in the DCU? Probably not for a bit. And then who are we going to see? Who's going to be the Flash in the DCU? Now, if we make it to that point of the fact that we get the Flash and the Flash shows up, I think it would be a smart idea to do a Wally West Flash. We've already had Barry Allen. All right, now it's time to have some Wally West Flash. That's who I actually grew up with. When I started collecting Flash comic books as a kid, it was all Wally West. I had no idea that there were previous Flashes until I got this one of those books, like a thick book that showed the history of the Flashes. I was like, oh wow, there's a Jake Garrick and a Barry Allen. And I'm like, of course there's a Barry Allen because I watched the 90s TV show and that's what his name was. But how about Walker Scobell? Scobell? Am I saying that right? I don't know. How about this guy right here? I mean, he put him in the Kid Flash CW costume, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch the Percy Jackson series, but I liked this kid when he was in the Atom Project with Ryan Reynolds. I thought he was pretty good, but yeah. So that was a pretty good fan cast, and I've seen clips from Percy Jackson and everything, so I was like, yeah. Not too shabby right there. So I think that'd be a good choice for a Wally West. Turn that off. I think that'd be a pretty good choice for a Wally West, to be honest. I think not bad. I think he's got that wit about him. I think that would work. 100%. Oh. Let's see here. Bring that up. Hold on. Sam Raimi, okay? We've already heard that he wants to do Batman. He's always wanted to do Batman, but who knows? Maybe he's going to do Batman, and we were trying to tell Jimmy Guns, hey, if Andy Muschietti's not going to do it, hey, what about Sam Raimi? He knows that Sam Raimi would like to do Batman, but who knows if that's actually going to be the case. So, obviously, with Sam Raimi promoting Send Help last week, a lot of press junkets, he was being asked a lot of questions, and of course, being one of the godfathers of the superhero genre, where it is today when it came to the Spider-Man trilogy that he made. Obviously, after Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, what could he do next? And so right here they ask him that. They ask him basically, what do superhero movies, the comic book genre, what do they need to do to stay fresh? And he brings up something right here that I went, wait, did you just bring up that comic book company?
What do you think needs to happen for us to have, like the comics, a silver age of comic book movies?
I think whenever the writer and director and producer focus on the character and do so truthfully, it can work, and it can work great. So many excellent stories. I mean, these are our heroes. There's decades of great material in the books that have been written by those bullpens, whether at DC, Marvel, or Dark Horse, and the material's there waiting for you to bring that character to life, and I think nothing's missing. I think they're on a really good track. Excited to see another really great superhero movie.
He brought up Dark Horse, which, when you think Dark Horse, immediately you think of Hellboy. And Hellboy, well, let's just face it. People have been trying to reboot that one twice now, and it hasn't quite worked. It just hasn't quite worked. So I'm like, put Hellboy aside. I've been screaming this for so long, guys, and if you've been with me for a while, you know how much I'm like, somebody needs to reboot The Mask, but do it like it is in the comic book. Okay, the Jim Carrey movie was fine. They family-friendlied it up because if you've read the book, it is graphic, very R-rated. And I'm going, somebody needs to reboot that. And I even thought, after Deadpool's success, that somebody was going to like, yeah, hey, what else can we do that's in the similar vein? An R-rated character that breaks the fourth wall and is pretty crazy. The Mask is right there. The Mask is right there, but nobody took it. And then I'm sitting there going like, wow, okay, forget a Sam Raimi Batman. What about Sam Raimi doing The Mask? Oh. Do it. I'm like, if anybody could do it, this guy can, man. If they could just do that. I've been begging for something with The Mask. But do the real version. Do Big Head. Big Head, that's what his name is. Big Head. They could just do something with that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just like, but when you mentioned Dark Horse, I was like, forget Hellboy. Forget Hellboy. Let's do The Mask. There's some other, you know, characters like Ghost. I think there was like this character named Ghost that was part of Dark Horse. I mean, Dark Horse has some good characters. Why not Dark Horse? Masters of the Universe. Well, we got some more looks at Master of the Universe because Empire Magazine was like, hey, we got some images. And of course, you know, I think mainly people are positive about Masters of the Universe. Of course, there's going to be negativity out there as well, naturally, because that's where we're at when it comes to all this. But here's the trio. Well, the trio and their big cat on the cover. The Power of Grayskull. That's right. Doomsday, the first word. Yeah. Avengers Doomsday's first word. Obviously, there's an interview with the Russo brothers on there. But yeah, there's Man-at-Arms. There's Tila, and of course, He-Man himself. I mean, they look the characters. They look the characters, and then I forget what the cat's name is. Cringer? That's right. Cringer, something like that, right? That's not it though. But they actually, I mean, there was some images that came from it too. Like what's her name? Alison Brie as Evil Lynn. We kind of see her in the trailer, but you don't really see her that much. But I mean, when again, my brother was a big He-Man fan. I watched some of the cartoons, but especially the older ones. And you know, when I put it out there, people were like, "Hey, it looks pretty legit to the source material. Looks pretty legit." So I mean, there's that, and then of course there is Idris Elba. They release an image of him. What is it? Man of Arms, whatever. Costume looks pretty good. The mustache looks fantastic. You know, I don't know. He looks fine to me. But of course, you know, people are, you know, the controversy because they race swapped. I know. Which I know people have like a big stink about that. But it's Idris Elba. I'm just like one of those, like, if it's Idris Elba, I'm like, I'm okay with it. I've always said if you're going to race swap or anything like that, just make it make sense. Make it make sense. And I don't know. It's Idris Elba, you know. You can't go wrong with Idris Elba, right? You really can't. But let's see. All right. Idris doing almost the same pose. Yeah, I know some people were saying like Bloodsport. What are you supposed to do, you know? He's a guy wearing a costume and a helmet with a gun. Of course he's going to look like Bloodsport. He's going to look like Bloodsport. You know, with all the craziness that happened last week when it came to Teddy Sarandos, being in front of Congress in a hearing about the whole merger of Netflix and Warner Brothers. I mean, of course, naturally, when it comes to within, the fandom I'm a part of, the DC fandom and all this kind of stuff, and, being a Snyder fan and a Gunn fan, kind of like being like, in that Venn diagram, I'm like right there in the middle when it comes to all that, all the craziness that happened last week, which of course, when I posted my video about it on Twitter, oh geez, did that get a nice little response of, people telling me I'm wrong, people basically just saying Teddy Sarandos's words said this, which he did when she did not say certain things, and of course people being box office experts, you gotta love that. But one of the main things that I did actually said in my post was the fact that, wow, there's a bigger picture here that a lot of people are not even paying attention to because you guys don't care about other things besides your own little fandom and own little delusional shit that you got out there. How about this? And this is as an avid moviegoer, love going to the movies. How about this, guys? Theater owners call pending Netflix Warner Brothers merger catastrophic in statement to Senate lawmakers. That's right. Cinema United, the trade org for exhibition, have made their remarks about the pending Netflix Warner Brothers merger to the Senate Antitrust Subcommittee public, saying if Netflix succeeds in acquiring Warner Brothers, the results will be economically and culturally catastrophic. Fewer theaters, shorter windows, less revenue, fewer jobs across the national and global entertainment industry, and fewer movies for customers to see in theaters. Just concerns. Now, Ted Sarandos did say that, yes, they're going to honor the 45-day window. But he's saying that, but if they go but the thing is, it's not like set in stone. If the movie is just like, the movie, it's not meeting the standards. It's not meeting the standards that we think, put it on the streaming service. That's the thing. That's what's going to happen, and that's the worry. Because you never know when a movie could have legs. I mean, movies can have legs still. That's what happened with Sinners. Hell, it was happening with Bridesmaids. Housemaid, that happened not too long ago, so. And it's like, so just concerns. And I'm like, yeah, after all the madness of last week of just like that certain thing where everybody's like, he said that Superman was a failure, underperformed, all that stuff like that. I'm like, you literally have Christopher Nolan and other people that are having concerns about this that, of course, you guys are not paying attention to because you think you're winning some fucking invisible battle out there, some invisible cape shit battle of sorts, which it's just so goddamn weird. I hate it. But what can you do? Fans will be fans, right? My God. Bane! Okay, so the first time we saw a cinematic Bane, it was bad. It was Batman and Robin, and they totally shit the character. Just wow. They I love Joel Schumacher as a filmmaker, but my God, when it came to Batman and Robin, I mean, it just went full fledged. Like I just look at it as it's the '66 Batman, modern day, and I'll even say I liked it. But somebody actually right here, let's see, Esh Effects, it looks like right here, that made this little, like, I don't know if they used AI or they actually used Photoshop, but they actually show that Bane and the George Clooney Batman with obviously the comic book cover that, of course, is that everybody knows. It's Bane breaking his back. But what's really funny is, why does it look like this Batman, George Clooney's Batman, is enjoying it? I mean, there's like no... I mean, the comic book cover, he's like in actual pain. Even when they did it in Dark Knight Returns, I mean, he was in pain. But man, George Clooney's Batman's like, oh yeah, right there. Oh yeah, that's fucking good. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. When I saw that, I was like, why does he look like he's enjoying that? He's a freak. The George Clooney Batman is a freak. You freak. And they're going to try to do this again, huh? Oh, boy. Didn't they try to do this already and it was really bad? And then they tried to do it again and it was also really bad. House of the Dead. Remember the game House of the Dead? Which, if you went to any arcade or a movie theater that had a small arcade, there was always a House of the Dead. House of the Dead shooter. You pull out the plastic guns and you're just you're doing all that stuff. Well, they're gonna make that movie. They're gonna try to make that movie into or make that franchise into a movie yet again. And Isabella Merced is going to star in the House of the Dead, an action horror film based on the Sega video game. Paul W.S. Anderson will produce. Oh, let's just sweeten up the deal with Paul W.S. Anderson. That guy who made like 9 Resident Evil movies and one of them was good, maybe. Yeah, let's bring that guy in. He also made that 3 Musketeers movie that was god awful. That means his wife, which power to him, he did end up marrying Mila Jovovich. Good on him. So she'll probably be in it somewhere too because she's always in his movies. I know he's had some other movies too, but he's so B-roll. It's so ridiculous. But I'm like, Isabella, what are you doing? Yeah, like a really good track record. Your agent was getting you all the shit. You're Hawk Girl. You were in Last of Us. I mean, you were in a Sony Marvel movie, which ended up not being so well. But, it seemed like a good idea probably at the time, especially with the cast. But I'm like, Isabella, you're really going to try it? You're really going to go down this route? I don't know. What's going on, Indiana Jake? Good to see you, bud. This is funny. This is funny right here. Because, there's like when the parody accounts out on Twitter, can do a pretty good job. You have somebody running a good parody account, I'm telling you, they could do a pretty good job. And discussing fish, which has fooled a lot of people. I love it when these parody accounts actually fool some people. They even fool some YouTube creators, which is sad. That'll happen, and they'll actually make videos about it or respond. And then people, it's like, and then of course they won't even like own up to the fact that they messed up and stuff. But so discussing fish right here, they posted this where like they've been kind of building it up where they're basically saying that, oh yeah, they're making a movie called James, the James Gunn story. And here's the cast that they chose when it came to this movie. So Glenn Howerton would play James Gunn. Tom Hardy would play Zack Snyder. John Bernthal as Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo. Why is Frank Grillo in there? I mean, I guess because he's been in, he's Rick Flag, so why not? Chris Pratt as Tom King. Morgan Wallen as Chris Pratt. It's funny. Rhea Seehorn as Jennifer Holland. Henry Cavill as David Cornsweet, which is just freaking hilarious. And then Woody Harrelson as Kevin Feige. It's funny. You have to laugh at that. You have to laugh at that. It's a good joke post. It's a good parody post. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. I just love that. Chris Pratt as Tom King and Morgan Wallen as Chris Pratt. That's good. I give, props. Props to you Disgusting Fish for doing that. At first they were doing like they kept on posting about like, oh, Woody Harrelson is playing Kevin Feige in like a Kevin Feige biopic. And they had like him with the Avengers hat and all that stuff like that. There are people that were actually believing it, which is funny. There are people actually believing it. So we got Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling can just do it all, right? Ryan Gosling, of course, we got Project Hail Mary that's going to be coming out, which I'm very much looking forward to. A lot of people are looking forward to. Here's some like internet promotion right here that he decided to do because Ryan Gosling, he could throw a football like a Hail Mary, apparently.
Ready?
Whoa! Was that real or was that AI? It almost looked like it wasn't real, right? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was real. Part of me was like, was it actually real? Maybe not. Because why would he have it when he throws it at Randy's Donuts? I don't know. Is it real? Yeah, the ball is real. The ball is real. Ryan Gosling CGI. Yeah, I was like, at first I was like, is that real? I mean, it seems like it's real, right? I don't know why they would not do that. Oh yeah, he did play. He played the quarterback in Remember the Titans. I'm just looking underneath the tweet right there. Did he play a quarterback in there? That's pretty cool. But at first, when I saw like the ball like go, I was like. But then again, he looks like Jared Goff, so maybe he just summoned some Jared Goff in him. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. I like it. And then, hey, guess what? We're gonna get a Lance Armstrong biopic. That's right, from director Edward Berger, who did Conclave recently. And guess who's gonna play Lance Armstrong? Austin Butler, of course. That's right, Austin Butler. Which I'm like, okay, I guess that'll work. He doesn't really give me Lance Armstrong vibes, but I guess that's guess we'll have to see. Sometimes these actors just turn into the character. So I still have to watch that movie, that last movie he was in. I keep hearing good things about it, and I got to watch it. I hear that Austin Butler is going to go full method again like he did when it came to Elvis, and he's going to remove one of his balls. So there you go. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, guys. You heard? Oh, crap. What did I do? I was going to do that. There we go. Exclusivo! There you go. Exclusivo for you guys. He's going to remove one of his balls because he's like, you gotta get into the character. You got to get into the character. Oh, I love me. You love me some art right here. And man, I mean, talk about a missed opportunity. And there still could be some kind of opportunity in animation, even if it is a comic book at first. But I'm like going, okay, you brought back Michael Keaton's version of Batman for Batman 89. You brought back that comic book series. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I collected it. I immediately was like, yes, I'm going to do that. Didn't quite do Superman 79, which I still want to get those. I just didn't. I got the first one, but I mainly focused on Batman 89. But I'm just kind of going like, you had a missed opportunity when it came to Michael Keaton being older Bruce Wayne and then having it where you could have a Terry McGinnis and you have Batman Beyond. And I think there's still something there, and Michael Keaton is still alive. I'm not saying it has to be live action. Maybe that's not going to happen anymore. Maybe it can be animation. I don't know, but check out this little comic book cover right here. That's freaking cool. That's cool. Look at that. So you have, obviously, the main is Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne right there as the older Bruce Wayne. And you kind of have like that little behind right there, which of course you have the Batman 89 emblem on the chest, which is great. You guys know I love that. And then of course you have Terry right there, Batman Beyond, which that is a nicely designed Batman Beyond costume. So I'm just like going, come on, please, Birdman Beyond. I like it. Please, just needs to happen. It needs to happen already, even if it's animation. Jimmy Guns, what are you doing? And that was from Kai Bar Art, by the way. Kai Bar Art. Kai Bar Art. Good job. Good job. Good job. What else we got here? We got another. Okay. Since I've already done one possible DCU fan cast, this is another one. It's a new one. That we haven't really, that I saw, and this is from DC Universe Daily. They went, obviously we got General Zod. Now, who would be a good General Zod in the DCU? Who could do it if James Gunn decided to do it, which he probably won't because Zod has been done already to death. So why have another Zod? But if they were to do it, how about Carl Urban? Diabolical. I could see it. I'm like, not a bad choice. But, it probably won't happen. I don't think it'll happen. Probably won't happen. Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yeah. He's still your choice for Wolverine? I don't think he's too up there for Wolverine. They got to get somebody younger for Wolverine. I mean, it's still weird that he's Johnny Cage. In my book, but I like Carl Urban, so. I like Carl Urban. All right. Zack Snyder. Time to go down Zack Snyder's Instagram. He's kind of been a little more quiet, and I think it's mainly had to do with like maybe he was taking some time off because he did post an image of him, and Deborah. They go to their up to the mountains and they have been, like having a vacation and skiing and all the things right there. But he did post a couple of things that were kind of like ooh, and we already did kind of no, actually we didn't talk about it. I thought we did, but no, we didn't actually. But let's see, let's go down Zack Snyder's Instagram real quick and see what he's been posting lately. Starting off with the ladies of the Amazon. Boom, that's right. Don't mess with the ladies of Themyscira. Warriors, sisters, legends. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So you got them right there. And just great stuff. Good stuff. They're looking powerful. They're looking jacked. And somewhere, what's her name is, what's her name that was making like a big deal about this? God, what's her name? Jessica what's her name? Jessica whatever? Jessica Redhead. Chapman? I can't remember her name. Somebody help me out with. Remember she made like a big stink about when Zack Snyder's Justice League was coming out, and the fact that the Amazonian women were wearing less clothing. Chastain, thank you. And yeah, and remember they made a big stink. She made a big stink about all that because she was all like, "Geez, I miss Patty Jenkins," because Zack put him in like I'm like, shut the fuck up, just shut up. And then, of course, there's Zach right there up at Altadena Cars and Coffee this morning. That beautiful vintage truck behind me belongs to my buddy Wesley Collar, which Wesley is an awesome dude. I've talked to that guy numerous times. Good stuff. And, of course, Zach with his coffee wearing his signature V-neck white T-shirt. And then, of course, we already talked about this. Where, of course, a lot of people were, like, freaking out, like, oh, my God, what's happening? Or did he turn off the comments? Yeah, that's weird. But obviously, we already talked about this. Terran Tactical, this was last weekend, where David Ayer was there. And, Tatiana right here wearing a nice little dress that I'm looking at very respectfully. And then, of course, Lois Lane, Amy Adams, the incomparable, fearless, and brilliant as Lois Lane, captured by Clay Enos during Man of Steel. Looking great. Great looking jacket right there. And then, of course, there's Zach and Debbie skiing in Deer Valley Resort. So that's probably why he hasn't been posting all that much. Taking a couple weeks off, probably. And then there is this right here. Oh, yeah, look at that. I wish more people could have experienced this in IMAX. These were shot off the screen during Picture Check at Universal City Walk IMAX. Only a handful of people got to see this film as it was intended on a massive screen and an image that just breathed. Second, Zack Snyder Justice League, of course. And then, yeah, showing this right there of Steppenwolf, which, yes, I was there. Yes, it was awesome. And, yeah, it would be nice if, like, people could have really saw more of that and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely awesome. But then there's this image right here. There's a Batman. God damn, does this guy know how to shoot a Batman shot? Am I right? Wide lens, Dark Knight, Leica MD 28mm f1.7. Oh, yeah, but there's Batfleck, but not Batfleck. That's Bat Citrone. That's not Ben Affleck. I at first I was kind of wondering, but I think that if it was Ben Affleck, Zach would have said that in his caption, and he didn't. So fairly certain this is actually Richard Citrone, which let's face it, all the cool stuff, even like when it came to that warehouse scene, that's mainly Citrone and Damon Caro that were doing all that stuff right there. Nothing against Ben. Ben looks great in the suit, and he knows, he poses, he knows how to throw a couple punches. But, Ben Affleck ain't doing the jumpity, kicky things there. That's for sure. But, yeah, when it came to stuff like this, it was mainly Citrone that was in the Bat costume, which Citrone has a good jawline and chin as well. So, good stuff. But yeah, just like the mist, the steam, and all the stuff just looks so freaking good. And then, of course, going back to the last photograph, there's his star, Mr. Fra, and war photographer, the last photograph. So, of course, we have to remember, guys, that, of course, Zack Snyder does have a new movie coming out. And it should be great. I love it when I see like the same names like underneath when it comes to the DC stuff, and then they disappear when it's the last photograph. What are we doing? Come on, guys. You guys need to comment on the last photograph stuff too. Don't just comment on the DC stuff. Anyways, I'm not trying to like I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying it just would be nice if people, did that a little bit more. That's asking too much, I think. Asking too much. Maybe. I don't know. That's just me. Who knows? And then, yeah, man, we lost somebody. Man. We lost a talented musician over the weekend. And sad, you don't want to hear it, because I remember I came across the video, I think, on one of my feeds. And I was never, like, a huge fan, but, I mean, this band was all over, like, growing up and stuff like that. Three Doors Down, Brad Arnold, lead singer. He died at 47, man. May he rest in peace. I mean, I tell you what, this guy was very talented. Some people were posting some, some good songs. I'm here without you, baby. You're still on my own mind. Of course, they sang that song Kryptonite, which was huge for them, but man. That one was like, shit, because I remember he posted a video last year because they were going to go on tour again, but then they had to cancel it because he got diagnosed with kidney cancer. And I was like, that sucks. And then you always hope that they'll get some good treatment, something would happen, and then they would just end up surviving. And then all of a sudden now, you just woke up and there you go. So if I had a drink, I would say I'd raise it up for him. But yeah, Brad Arnold, one of the good ones, a talented singer. May he rest in peace, man. But yeah, that song, so many good songs from Three Doors Down. If I go crazy, then will you can still call me Superman? If I'm alive, and will you be there holding my hand? Yeah, it's just good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, what else we got? This is all Super Bowl stuff now that I'm getting into. Yeah. Okay, well now, past all the Super Bowl stuff. Kryptonite was always my jam, but Here Without You. Oh yeah, Here Without You was like one of those like, dude. Yeah, it's a good love song. That's for damn sure. So, good stuff. Three Doors Down was my gateway to Superman. Yeah. Really? That's interesting. Okay, cool. Whatever gets you to Superman, I tell you. So, we all have our different stories of how we find some of these heroes and stuff, but it's a great song. It's definitely a great song. Highlander. Oh, we got some more Highlander stuff, right? You want to see some aura farming on the set of Highlander? Okay, and it's not just Henry Cavill. No. It's not just Henry Cavill. It's not going to be Jeremy Irons. We got a Dave Bautista now. There he is as Kurgan. I'm totally forgetting his name. The character's name. But look at that aura. Look at these guys. They're just totally aura farming the shit out of this photo. Look at Bautista with that hair. That's some good hair. Both of them with their messy ass hair. Does he have a priest collar on? Yeah. Got some, looks like they got in some battles or something right there, huh? That's not it. Let's see. There's more too. That was just from Unbox PhD. But there was actually some more images, I think. Yeah, there's some more from him. Some more of Cavill. There he is right there. Looks like he's just having fun, which is what we want to see. We want to see Cavill having fun. More images of him and Bautista right there. Probably watching, what they record, or they're just, joking around. Look at that. Little bromance going on the set. Kurgan? That's right, Kurgan. Yeah. Is Batista the Kurgan? Yes. I was trying to remember, did I say his name right? I knew I probably said it wrong. But I think that, there's some... We got that image again. We got we got some stuff right here, some action stuff with some harnesses and some wire work that's happening. I think this movie's going to be awesome. I think this movie's going to be the shit. There's some more Cavill-ness for you to swoon at. I like it, yeah. So that's the latest when it comes to some set photos right there. This is all happening in London right now. You're seeing it? That seems to be it right there. Those images are actually a video. Oh, yeah, there is a full video, but I'm not going to play the video. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Like I said, I was a fan of the original movie. Never really watched the TV show, but, And then Catherine O'Hara, obviously, sad that she passed away a couple of weeks ago, which sucks. But the reason why she passed away has now been revealed. And there you go. Catherine O'Hara's cause of death has been revealed to be a pulmonary embolism with rectal cancer as an underlying condition. God. So, yeah, I mean, I there was people that were more in the know that said she was getting cancer treatments, and I guess she had a little embolism when it came to all that, and that just freaking sucks, man. That sucks. It really does suck. That was another good one. Yeah, another good one. Another good one that passed away, and that's just freaking, again, we always say it, fuck cancer, man. Fuck cancer. Oh, this is pretty cool right here. This is pretty cool right here, because Project Hail Mary has the potential to be a movie that's going to be one of the big movies of the year. And I hope it is. I hope, again, as much as I love the superhero genre, I don't mind that it could take a little side, what I don't even know where I'm going with that. Little side, whatever. I don't even know where I was going with that. But I was just saying, I do like it when we have, obviously Project Hail Mary is based on a book. But I do hope it's a big movie because, we want other movies to be big movies too. But this is pretty interesting right here because if you guys don't know this, but Greg Fraser, who did the first Batman, who did Dune, was the cinematographer on Project Hail Mary. And apparently they had this little unique thing where Greg Fraser shot Project Hail Mary in 2 different screen formats. Earth scenes were filmed in 2 by 39 by 1 widescreen, and space scenes were filmed, of course, in 1 by 43 by 1 IMAX format. So that's really cool. So when you're on Earth, you have a certain kind of format. When you're in space, you have a different kind of format. I like that. And yeah, some of those visuals look really freaking good right there. Really good. Really good. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I know. I mean, just, yeah, when you're getting the treatments and that's the underlying sickness of Catherine O'Hara, and then she has an embolism. It's God, you hate to see that. But anyways, all right. Well, that's the tweets, guys. That's the tweets. That is the tweets. Is it coming out this year? Project Hail Mary? Yeah, it's coming out in March. It's coming out soon. It's coming out next month. If you're talking about that one. And I think you can get actually early access. I think you can actually see it this month if you have an Amazon Prime account. Lord and Miller are just a genius duo. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to remember that. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're the ones that are making that. Oh, you meant Highlander. Highlander. That's a good question. Good question. I don't think it's coming out this year because they're filming it. Coming out with Henry Cavill. No, it is coming out this year. They say it's coming out this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets bumped to next year because they had to delay it because Cavill he broke his ankle or, fractured his ankle, so they had to postpone it. So I would not be surprised if they bump it to next year. They might have to. I don't know. It's slated to come out this year. But I think it's going to come out next year. So there's not really definitive, yeah. Despite shifting to 2026 remains the target for this Amazon MGM Studios film. That's according to that. But you never know. So we'll see. Cavill took a cue from Tom Cruise. Pretty much. Cavill's a badass, man. I mean, speaking of that, Tom Cruise even said in the behind the scenes of Mission Impossible Fallout that Henry Cavill wanted to do the Halo jump. Cavill did basically most of his stunts. I think damn near all of them. The fight scene in the bathroom, that was all Cavill and all Tom Cruise. Cavill was trying to keep up with Tom Cruise, and he wanted to do that Halo jump in Fallout. But Tom Cruise is like, dude, you can't. I've done like 50 of these. You have to have a number of jumps in order to do this. So like, you can't do the Halo jump. So Cavill didn't do the Halo jump, but wanted to do the Halo jump. Cavill's a badass, man. Cavill's a badass. All right, let's start jumping into the topics and everything. Let's start jumping into the topics and seeing what's going on. Let's go on to some DC stuff. So what's happening in the DCU? Well, we got some things. Obviously things came out last week, and things that we already, I did cover some things on the Vox stream at the opening of the Vox stream, but we can always kind of like talk about them again. And, talk about some certain things that are coming out. And, of course, I'm using DC Film News as my reference point when it comes to stuff like this. And, first off, we have Frame Store VFX breakdown of Fortress of Solitude, which is kind of interesting because I think they actually, when the Fortress of Solitude is starting to rise up from the ground, they cut out a part. They cut out a part because I think at first, which actually didn't really make sense because Krypto was dragging Superman. So why would Krypto just, he dropped off Superman, and then there he is right there. So we have Krypto looking at one of the crystals rising up from the ground.
When creating a model like this, we need to think both big and small, starting with several detailed crystals. The sizes range from our flying dog to giant skyscrapers. Over 60 exterior crystals were made as a kit and animated into the design of the Fortress of Solitude. Using procedural modeling in Houdini, we added inside fractures for complex lighting. With a total polygon count of 66 million across 580 UDIMs, the team of 12 modelers worked on the Fortress for over a year.
Oh, there you go. That's the Fortress of Solitude. You gotta love those. I love the VFX breakdowns when it comes to all that. Pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. And then, of course, one of the big things that happened on Friday was the fact that, hey, bust out the fucking drums. Supergirl is going to have some goddamn percussion because Junkee XL is now set to compose. And yes, Raymond Jawadi was previously attached to compose per the film site. But yeah, all of a sudden they're like, oh, yep, the composer is now Tom Holkenborg. That's right. You beautiful motherfuckers. That's right. If you guys know, you know. I've actually interviewed Tom. If you go back, you could go back. It was like in 2021 before the Snyder Cut came out. I interviewed Tom, and he had a great time. He was like in his kitchen. He was smoking cigarettes. He was drinking beer. And I said this also when I was talking about it on the Vox stream. It was so funny because his PR guy emailed me and goes, he needs to end the interview. He needs to end it right now. That's what I love. And that just shows you, again, when you're supposed to have somebody on and they say like, oh, I can only do a half an hour or I can only do this amount of time. And then they end up staying longer. That means they had a good time. Tom was having a great time. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that. I remember he even played some music from for Zack Snyder's Justice League score for us that wasn't released yet, which was great. But yeah, it was just freaking. He was just such a delight. Would love to talk to him yet again. But yeah, again, he did Mad Max, the percussions. The Wonder Woman theme song. I know it got done to death after that when it came to her appearances when she made like little cameo appearances. They always do, but it's such a good goddamn thing. And those drums, man, that is Tom. That is Junkee XL. Oh, just so good. Just so freaking good. So yeah. So there was that. And then shocker, guys. Holy crap. Shocker, Isabella Merced will return as Hawkgirl in Man of Tomorrow. Ooh, breaking news right there, right? Jeez, I think we all kind of, we already knew that. We already knew that she was going to be coming back. Of course she was. Of course. All right. And then, of course, this was also released on Friday, which if you hate the DCU and you hate James Gunn and you want to see James Gunn and the DCU fail, of course, this is more ammunition for some reason because you can't go outside. God damn it, hit the wrong button. Clayface is now releasing October 23rd. Sorry about that. But yeah, so they bumped it to a week before Halloween, which it was supposed to come out on September 11th. Yeah, good job. I would say this is better. This is better, and then allows like another month to make sure everything looks nice and pristine, you know? The September 11th, they put the Practical Magic 2 movie, which I don't know who that's going to be for, but maybe I'll check it out because, you know, Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock, you know, they're awesome. But yeah, I think that one, for a body horror type of movie, yeah, put it around Halloween. So I think that works. I really think that works. Lex Lifter, am I right? Yeah, Nicholas Hoult in the gym, getting bulked up. Because, you know, he's got to play opposite of Corn Sweat, you know? He's got to probably put on a little bit more muscle, huh? Probably be wearing that exosuit. We're going to wear that exosuit. It's going to be a heavy suit. Got to bulk up, man. Bulk up. All right. And then now we come to the Supergirl stuff. And yes, when it came to the Puppy Bowl, I don't think a lot of us were expecting much because last year they did the same thing when it came to Krypto. And all they did was show the Superman trailer again, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't anything there. But again, it's not all about that. It's not all about that, guys. And I don't know how many times I have to like express this and put this out there. Even when it comes to like the big detractors, and I had to respond to some of the people too today that were just like, you're not understanding the message that is going into the fact that yes, that Krypto is a big part of the DCU, but Krypto is also creating awareness to pet adoption, which is a good cause. It's a great cause. Okay, there's nothing wrong with like, hey, we have an existing character, the director is. Or, you know, the director / co-CEO of DC Studios based his own adopted dog, Rescue, that he got. He's basing Krypto off of that dog and just kind of creating awareness, which is good. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's definitely a positive thing. So that's the way you got to kind of look at it when it comes to the Puppy Bowl. Anyways, so they did release some more, like a little spot, and it does have some more footage when it comes to Supergirl. So we got I'm guessing that's her mom in there. There she is. And there's little Krypto. Aw. There's Kara. And she finds him.
Who are you?
Adorable.
What was it like to lose everything in a day? Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind. This is not gonna end well for you guys. What's Superman like? He sees the good in everyone.
More like extended footage.
And I see the truth.
Naked Krypto. But yeah, I mean, come on. Look at that little adorable little fuck. He's all dirty and everything. I mean, how do you not say that he's not adorable? He's adorable. He's absolutely adorable.
Who are you?
Yeah. And like I said, there's like, you know, a little bit more footage, little like extended footage, I guess you could say, when it comes to this. And then, like I said, I mean, it's so funny because, again, we're just like, I mean, we know if you've read the Woman of Tomorrow story, you know. And that's what's like, kind of like, oh, that's going to be hard to watch. But yeah. Puppy, that's right. Some people were saying baby Krypto because we're so used to saying baby Groot or baby Yoda. It's like, it's a puppy. A baby dog is a puppy, guys. Don't call him baby Krypto. No, it's puppy Krypto. And then naturally, they release a poster. Watch out, universe. There he is. Oh, just a little, look at that little guy. You just want to pet him. But, you know, he might bite you and take you off into space if you do that. So, there he is right there. There he is. And then, you know, when I posted this, I mean, naturally, of course, guys, it was so funny because I had no idea, because I kind of disconnected. I disconnected a little bit. Like when I left my house, probably about 11:30, to, you know, go to my friends. I had to run some errands beforehand, and so I left. So I did not look at my phone or anything. Did not pay attention. And then when the Super Bowl started, when trailers came out, yeah, I was like kind of tweeting about the trailers. Had no idea that Supergirl spot got released or the poster or anything. I had no idea until I got home. I was like, oh shit, there was stuff that was posted about Supergirl and stuff. So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. And then let's see. So let's read some comments, huh? You want to read some comments? Because obviously with mine, I mean, you're seeing there's a lot of responses right here, you know, when it comes to all this, which is, you know, naturally going to be the case. You know, Cal says, it's fine. I wanted a lab. Don't care. You see, like when I see the stuff like this, where it's just like, don't care, I'm shocked because, you know, you click that. Oh, of course, the banner is Snyderverse. Cool. Versus C, there you are right there. I love this. I have only had Krypto for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself. That's pretty good right there. Just over the animal sidekick from Gunn. I love my pets so much, but every film from him uses this angle at this point. This is basically a repeat of the Grogu situation. People are fed up with him, while the studio pushes him into every project to catch kids on cuteness bait and sell more toys because the films and TV shows aren't good enough and generate profit and blah, blah, blah. I like it. It depends how it's written. So cute. I'm guessing marking genius. I don't know what that means. Marketing genius, I should say. More memorable than Superman, to be frank. Love it, but I still won't see this movie. All right. It's cute, to be honest. Scared for him in Supergirl. Yes, because if you know, you know. If you know the story. He is absolutely adorable and must be protected at all costs. He's cute. Meh, super boring. Not surprising for Mr. Baker. I hope he's killed off. That is sad. Manis didn't care the first time around, as the trailers and Krypto overload put me off. Cute little bastard. I can't say anything bad. Baby Groot, same shit, different day with Gunn. One trick pony, and some people just accept this slob. And then ass, this is Krypto. Apparently, okay, so this is Krypto, okay? Can't have more than one Krypto. Get this shit the fuck over with already. Trying to turn DC into Disney's mistake number 1, 2, and 3 for WB. I could care less. You couldn't care less. You mean... I love when people get that. It's supposed to be couldn't care less, right? Because you could care less? Okay, you could care less. Anyways, this whole dog thing since Superman is so stupid and childish, like a 4-year-old cartoon. So stupid. I think the award-winning goodest boy Indy deserves a cameo. Why not? And there's that. Well, he is likable. Supergirl, not. Nothing wrong. What's not to like? Stupid. Already sick of this dog. Hashtag super shit. Wow. It's almost like James Gunn kind of already had this right here, right? And Superman. Gotta love it, right? Good luck to Gunn. This is a pass for me. You tell us from your high chair. from my high chair. Oh yeah, I got some of those responses too. When it came to all this, you know, I'm trying to get access again, guys, which I don't know how many times I have to ask these guys, what's the access I am trying to get? What is the access? You know, I'm just like, hey, if anybody from Supergirl or James Gunn or Craig Gillespie, that would be awesome. If they wanted to come on the vodka stream, cool. But I'm not trying to be like, you know, typing emails or something like that. So the access thing, get new writers, guys. That's all I have to say. That's all I really have to say. I had somebody actually too that was like, that went off. And then this person, this individual, even because I acted like a smartass because the whole thing that a lot of people were pushing back on when it came to all this is the fact that, oh yeah, he's doing the animal thing again and trying to like get all the pet owners and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, God forbid that they're using an existing character in the DC universe and they made him just a little bit more cutesy, a little bit more furry, a little bit more adorable, a little bit more of a, you know, a little bit more of a, you know, hey, you know, he's not exactly a good boy, but can be a good boy. God forbid that they use him to target pet owners and then of course use that to promote pet adoption. God forbid for that and everything. And then, man, this guy, he, before he blocked me, before I could answer him, he did that whole thing where like, you have that smart mouth, you only do it on your podcast, you don't do it in public because if you did it in public, someone's going to clap you up or something like that. So basically this guy was saying, if I were to respond like I did to him in public, he would probably punch me in the face. Because you know that some of these guys will resort to violence over cape shit. And yes, if you go to that guy's profile, you know that he very heavily is on that side of the fandom, that loud side. And of course, some of those leaders would actually like to see physical harm actually happen to me over cape shit. You gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it. A fucking CGI dog gets these guys up in arms, man. And I get it. This is James Gunn's angle. Yes, it worked for him when it came to Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, why not keep on doing it? But at the same time, Krypto is pretty pivotal to this Supergirl story. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to show. Is he going to show up in Man of Tomorrow? Maybe. But I don't know. Maybe he's not. That's another thing. We don't know if Krypto is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. We don't know that quite yet. We don't know that. But yeah, I thought I'd go down that real quick right there. But then we have a Supergirl test screening. So I'm going to read off the things that were mentioned when it came to Supergirl. There's no real spoilery things right here. But I guess you could say there could be a little bit. But when it comes to story, not really any spoiler. It's just basically talking about certain things, aspects, elements within Supergirl. So if you want to, you know, I'll even hit the, I'll hit the, whatchamacallit, my little alarm right here. Didn't I have one? Do I have that still? Shit. Maybe I don't have that anymore. Where is that? I thought I had that. No, I don't know what I did with that. No, I guess what the hell happened to that? I used to have like a little alarm, but I guess not. All right. I don't know what happened to that. That's interesting. Anyways, so I'm going to read off stuff, so it'll probably take about a minute. So if you want to mute, you can mute. Like I said, there's nothing spoilery about the story. It's just talking about certain elements that was taken from the test screen, okay? So you've been warned right here, and I'm going to read them off right here. That's reported by Axel Talk Film, and I'm just going to read it off real quick. All right, 3, 2, 1. So the test screening happened, and here's like the little things right here. Lobo has a substantial role in the film, and it's crucial to the ending. So that's good. So Lobo is not going to just be one scene, cameo. He's actually be pretty pivotal. That's why Jason Momoa 100% is going to be in the promotion of all this. Krem is described as extremely menacing and a tremendous villain. So that's good. Because, again, the look was kind of weird. The cinematography is an upgrade compared to Superman's, with a specific hallway scene compared to action sequences like those of Daredevil and Guardians 3. So a one-shot action sequence. Totally down for that. And I love the fact that the cinematography is better than Superman. Awesome. much darker and serious tone than Superman, with a human trafficking and violence being prominent. So there you go. Described as a perfect balance of humor, darkness, and lightness. There you go. We're done. So if you want to unmute, you can. There you go. So that was it. And I love that last part. Perfect balance of humor, darkness, and lightness. Again, it's not a James Gunn movie. Yes, it's in James Gunn's world. Yes, he overlooked it. But it is Craig Gillespie's vision. And that's why I was like going, there is a possibility that Supergirl could be better than Superman. And I hope that it is. I really do. I always hope that the next movie is better. And then I hope Man of Tomorrow is better than Supergirl and Superman. I always want the next movie to be better. I hope Clayface is better than Supergirl. I'm really rooting for Clayface because it's going to be a small movie. But I'm really liking what I'm hearing right there. I'm really liking what I'm hearing. So, oh yeah, they're going to say that they're going to say that this movie copied something, from something. It's just ridiculous. Always going to be the case. Always going to be the case. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to that. And then last but certainly not least, Swamp Thing. You make my heart sing. You're gross and disgusting and everything like that. But James Gunn, what are you doing? James Gunn posted this on his Instagram, I think. That happened today. So are we going to get some Swamp Thing news? What's going on with that? Do we still have James Mangold directing that? I don't know. Jimmy Gunn's posted that today. Is Swamp Thing going to be a thing? I hope so. I hope it could just be like something cool in that little portion of the DCU that can maybe start off the Dark Justice League right there. I guess we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, and then that's actually not it because let's see, let me find it here. There was some Superman things that I actually wanted to, yeah. Grant Morrison, also, when it came to Superman, he actually did a review. He was on Half the Picture podcast or whatever, being interviewed. And so this is what Grant Morrison actually had to say about Superman. So when it came to his monologue, he said, I was happy to see him kind of showing his Superman strength. I felt that there was a fragility there, which was worrying to me. Dramatically, that worked. I was instantly kind of worried about Superman, but they put him in a position where I was concerned that he would break down, lose his compass. The fact that he didn't was just nice to see. I'm glad that they just showed that Superman is different from us. He possesses things differently, and he finds the good in things. So there you go. And then this right here, talking about the twist, the Krypton twist. I didn't like it because I prefer when Krypton's this lost utopia. I like the idea that there was something amazing and nature was wiped it out. Their own lack of attention to detail allowed them to be wiped out, and I think there's something much more poignant about that. As a twist in James's version of the story, I thought it really worked. The thing I found almost upsetting in it was that it felt like Superman's morality was quite fragile. It was just based on his wish fulfillment bullshit. So he didn't like it at first, which a lot of people didn't, but then he went, well, it does work with this story because, and I think when it came to Grant Morrison and looking at James Gunn's Superman, I think like he was just like going, oh man, because a lot of people are like, Superman keeps getting his ass kicked. Superman is getting tested to the limits. And then the monologue at the end and just him not losing his way, he's like, no, after all he went through, he's still Superman. He's still finding the good and everything. He didn't get broken down. He didn't get broken down. I think that's mainly what Grant Morrison was basically saying when it came to James Gunn's Superman and reviewing it. That he was worried that he was going to break down and showing like his fragility and stuff like that. It's like, no, he just got tested to the limits, which I know some people didn't like. I thought it was fine. But yeah, that was just a couple of things right there when it came to Grant Morrison. So yeah, it's good to hear him, man. It's good to hear that. It's good to hear because obviously, with All-Star Superman and everything, which great book. All right, that's pretty much it. I think, was that pretty much it? Yeah, that was pretty much it. All right. Now we go to the other universe and we talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think we got confirmation here, folks. We got confirmation. Yeah. I think we got confirmation. Again, I mean, you might want to, if you haven't heard anything, if you haven't heard this, because there's a character, a villain-type character that looks to be revealed right here, which then kind of confirms something else. So if you don't want to hear this, about Spider-Man Brand New Day, go ahead and mute this right now. It'll only take another minute, but I'm gonna bring this up right now, so you have been warned when it comes to Tremel Tillman's character, because he's in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we were kind of wondering who he's playing. And according to Nexus Point News, he has been cast as William Metzger in Spider-Man Brand New Day. In the comments, Metzger leads the anti-mutant militia. And in the MCU, he will serve as head of the DODC, which is Department of Damage Control. Anti-mutant militia basically confirms that Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. Possibly. I mean, yeah, they're saying like, oh yeah, he's going to be Department of Damage Control, but I don't know. I think like if he's playing that character and he's doing that, I'm just kind of going, it seems like that's kind of confirmation that, oh, there is going to be a mutant element in this movie, and Sadie Sink is, in fact, Jean Grey. But could be wrong. I just, that's what I was kind of gathering right there. Damage control is going to change up. Yeah. That's cool. I see what you're saying right there. It's going to change. So, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think Brand New Day is going to be I think it's Brand New Day. Brand New Day probably is going to be better than No Way Home. Nothing against No Way Home. It just doesn't have the rewatch value. And a lot of people realize that Spider-Man No Way Home was more of, it was something to watch opening night with a group of people, and it was great. I remember me and my brother went opening night. It was a fantastic time. But if you rewatch it again, you're just kind of like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I still enjoy it, but I just have a feeling that Brand New Day is going to reinvent Tom Holland's Superman, Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be reinvented. Mr. Destin Crenton. I mean, I think he's going to do a fantastic job with this. They even said that the tone is changing. And then if they're going to start bringing in some like the mutant element, that'd be pretty sweet. This is a waste of an actor. Well, tell that to him, gamer. I'm sure he's very, very excited for it. All right, let's bring up the box office. Who went to the movies this weekend, huh? Who went to the movies? Like I said, I saw Iron Lung, so. Who went to the movies? But it's nice to see. It's nice to see that Sam Raimi, going back to Sam Raimi, that his movie is killing it right now. I mean, it did get a 52.6% drop, but it still made the top spot. And right now, 34.9 million domestic with a 17.7 international, and it sits at $52 million. Not sure what the budget was. I think the budget was like 40, 50 million, so it probably still has some work to do, but people are loving it at least. And then Soy Mio, this movie right here with Kevin James, which I had no idea about. I know there's that weird Kevin James thing where he's like posting TikTok videos as somebody else, which is a very funny thing. And he did something for the Super Bowl too. I don't know. But $7 million that this movie made, so that was one of the new ones. And then Iron Lung just keeps on killing it. Mind you, this movie cost like $3 million. And I was very impressed by it. I was very impressed by this movie. That's why I wanted to see it. From Markiplier, $34.3 million on a $3 million budget that he funded himself. He invested in himself. That's where it says distributor Markiplier, because he's got a brand, he's got a company, so he was able to do it, helping change the game. And I love that shit. I love it. And go check it out. And then we had, I don't even know what the hell this was, Stray Kids, the Dominate experience. It just captures the K-pop, it's another K-pop thing, of course. That made $19.7 million. K-pop still killing it. And then there was a Dracula movie came out. I don't know. I'm like, wow, a Dracula movie came out. This is more international movie. I think this is like more of a UK type movie. And I think it got what's his name in it, right? Or that one of the, I think he was supposed to be one of the Brainiac shortlist guys. But yeah, it only did 4.4 domestic, but 29.1 international. So 33.6. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, a Dracula movie came out. Zootopia crossed $1.8 billion. My God. Jeez. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then we got The Strangers, which also came out, which I think people just are not flocking to this franchise anymore. I didn't even see any. I didn't see the last one. I saw the first one. The first one was good, but yeah. That's pretty much it. So, kind of a quiet box office, which is usually the case around the Super Bowl weekend. But you know, we got the Wuthering Heights. We got the Valentine's Day weekend, so we got Wuthering Heights, which will probably dominate. That'll probably be number one because you know, a romantic movie, hot. Feel sorry for Margot Robbie's husband, but hey. And then we got the movie I'm seeing is Crime 101 with like Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry, you know, heisty type of twisty turny movie. That's what I'm seeing this weekend with my dad. So looking forward to that one, of course. So all right, let's talk about Super Bowl. What was your guys's, and I should have put a poll out there, and maybe I'll put a poll out later. Let's what was your guys' favorite Super Bowl movie trailer, I should say. And, you know, there's a couple of things. Let's go to the Super Bowl portion of all this right here. You know, there was like Minions and Monsters got a little teaser. The Hoppers, that got one. That was like the first trailer. You know, it's kind of like they kind of make fun that it is like Avatar because it's humans going into animals' bodies, you know, through like a little thing right there. So, Strangers Part 3 was really bad. Yeah, I don't surprise that. But I love the fact that oh yes, we got another little spot for a disclosure.
We are interrupting our coverage. There has been a threat to publicly release government material long shrouded in secrecy. Are they people?
No.
Do you think there could be others?
People have a right to know the truth.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
If you do this, there's no undoing it.
There will be no other day like tomorrow.
Heck yeah, look at that. Oh, UFO. Now we got a spaceship. Oh. Yes. God, I can't wait for that movie. Hype. And now we got we got a commercial. Not footage from the actual movie. I actually thought this was kind of cool, kind of creative. Because at first I actually was like, oh yeah, Budweiser bringing the Clydesdales back. No. They're bringing the Tauntauns back for Star Wars. And I'm sure you guys saw this.
Sometimes we choose our path. Other times the path chooses us. Through it all, we keep pushing forward, driven by a deeper purpose, guided by an unseen force. The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break. This is the way.
Only in theaters and IMAX May 22nd.
Yeah? And of course, a lot of people are like, what the fuck is this? What? And I'm like, it's a commercial. It's not, I mean, it's a commercial. Yeah, I mean, the movie's probably not going to look that much better. It's still, when I see the trailer of Mandalorian and Grogu, yes, it just looks like season fucking 4 or 5, whatever the hell I mean, that's all it really, I mean, yeah. Again, the quality of the, what it looks like, yeah, it's still probably going to not look all that great. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not like super hyped about Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I was like, hey, you had like 3 good seasons. And I was like, okay, moving along, but I'm still going to go watch it. But I thought that was actually kind of creative because I was like, oh yeah, here it is. Here's a Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales. No, fooled me. So at least there was that. There was at least that, right, guys? It sounds like Sam Elliott. I was wondering. I don't think it was, though. But then, nobody was expecting this one, and I was like, thank God. We got this right here, and this is The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
So you helped Rick subdue those hippie intruders, huh?
Something like that.
You sound like there's more to it.
I don't possess many talents, but I know better than getting away with a good story.
Big Kahuna Burger. You saw it. You saw it right there. There's going to be some... It's the Quentin Tarantino cinematic universe. Do some movies in there. He's going to do some destruction derby. Is that what they call that? A lot of cussing.
Think you're real
The
funny,
question
huh?
is...
I'm a little funny.
The question is... They didn't even put the title. That's it. They didn't even put the title. They didn't put the title. I mean, good on Netflix for going, hey, we're going to spend $8 million on this TV spot. And it's like, hey, here's Brad Pitt. Maybe people will recognize that this is the role that he won an Academy Award for 6 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. But I was like, I was telling my friend, I mean, like, because nobody else was really watching. And we were like, what? We had the TV was outside on the patio. One thing about that trailer, it's really dark. But then again, it's Fincher dark. You know, Fincher has a way of like shooting in the dark. But also, I will say, though, it doesn't look as good as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know, because Fincher is shooting with a digital camera as opposed to Tarantino with actual film. So yeah, the quality is not going to be as good. I just wonder, hey, Netflix, can you please release that in movie theaters? I would like to see that on a big screen. I'm looking forward to the movie. I would like to see it on a big screen as opposed to my TV. Just saying. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, though. Lame. And what was Robert Downey Jr. and his wife doing? Well, they were watching the Super Bowl, and they conveniently had some Super Bowl Doomsday jerseys going on, so he posted that right there. So naturally, so there was a little bit of Avengers Doomsday promotion that happened yesterday, for sure. And then, of course, there was Project Hail Mary, which we don't have to watch that one. This was like the full trailer. The full trailer, they showed like a thing, they showed like a spot during the Super Bowl, but then they showed a full final trailer. I didn't watch it. I want to go in more fresh. I already saw the first trailer, and I know they already revealed a little too much with that first trailer. I was too worried, and I even saw people that said, don't watch that final trailer. It gives away more. So I did not watch that trailer. I did post it and just asked who is looking forward to Project Hail Mary. Seems like a lot of people are, but yeah, we won't show that trailer. It's like almost a 3-minute trailer, and apparently it gives away a lot more than that first trailer. And I'm like going, don't need to do that. So I didn't even watch it. I just posted about it. I'm like, let's keep it a little bit fresh right there, huh? Keep it a little bit fresh. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there was really any other movie trailers, right? Besides the commercials and stuff. Yeah, that was like the ones that I was like, that I saw. Some decent ones. I would say my favorite of the ones was Disclosure Day. Disclosure Day, and then of course the Cliff Booth. I was very pleasantly surprised by the Cliff Booth trailer. So, That's the one I was all about. So yeah, let me. Which was your favorite, guys? Let me know out there, huh? Let me know. Unless I got kicked off. Did I get kicked off? Am I still alive? YouTube is like, hey, nope. Like, hey, nope. You show too much other stuff. That happens. And I'm like, I'm not seeing the chat move, so that's a possibility. Hopefully it didn't happen, but hey, I'm going to keep moving along anyways. All right, let's go to some Twitter questions. Why do I have a feeling that did that happen? No, it's still going. It's still going. Okay, just making All right, just making sure, because I was like, oh, wow, it got quiet. It got quiet out there, and I'm like, I was showing a lot of, I showed like 3 trailers. Sometimes YouTube will just dive bomb your shit, man. Just wanted to make sure. So thank you, Axel, for responding. I haven't seen a bit of Project Hail Mary yet, except one TV spot. Yeah, people keep on saying go in fresh. Try to go in without doing all that. So, all right, let's get some Twitter questions. Then we'll look at some YouTube polls and maybe some YouTube questions too. We'll start off with Twitter. All right, Mr. Eric. No, I don't have to do that. Eric, he said, so Dave, the thought just occurred to me. Wouldn't that anti-mutant group can consider Peter a mutant? Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, he wasn't born with it, but maybe it's Maybelline. Anyway, sorry. But it's not like they'd care about those little details, right? Besides, since everyone's memories. Oh, all right. See, Eric, you are thinking. I did not give that a thought. You're absolutely correct that they would absolutely consider, if they were going to have like somebody who was running some anti-mutant thing, they would think that Peter was 100% a mutant. I like it. Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later. Darren, do you think Supergirl is coming out at a weird time? It's basically releasing between Toy Story 5 and The Odyssey. I mean, it's coming out in June. Seems like a fine time. I don't see it doing as well as Superman, but you never know. Cooper Knox, in my opinion, Hollywood really fumbled hard with dropping new trailers with this year's Super Bowl. Okay. So Cooper Knox is like not impressed by the trailers being released. Devin Wooter, hey Dave, the halftime performance kind of boring. Okay, I could see that. Your favorite Super Bowl TV spot? Why did Marvel? My favorite one was probably the Ben Affleck one. Did Marvel didn't show any Avengers Doomsday trailer, and I just watched the new Ben Affleck movie Netflix. They have The Rip. What's your favorite scene from it? I mean, there's a lot of pretty good scenes in there. I don't really have a favorite one. And then Joshua G. Honestly, can't wait for this and glad they are doing this. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, this is what we're talking about right here. So, when it comes to Project Hail Mary, it says you can see it as early as Monday, March 16th. Okay, so not in February. But then it says, the tickets will be available Friday, February 20th through Fandango. To be notified, you could do all that. So yeah, if you guys want to see it, if you want to see Project Hail Mary a little bit early and you have Amazon Prime, you will be able to get early screening tickets. And on February 20th, that's when they're going to go live. So keep on put a notification out there. I'll remind you guys again too. Hey Dave, as someone who has Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in their top 15, I'm extremely skeptical about the Cliff Booth movie. Mostly because of the tone of the trailers, and also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ended perfectly. I agree. I mean, I guess we'll see come summer in trailer 2, but I'm going to remain... Yeah, I can totally see that. 100%. And then, of course, a bunch of spam. Yeah, I totally see that, Josh. I feel the same way. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's still going to be good. I'm still very much looking forward to it. But yeah, it does feel like it has a different tone, and it is still Tarantino's writing, but it's Fincher's look, and it doesn't look, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, exactly, Ghoul. I don't give a. Yeah, is anybody going to really give a shit about Toy Story 5? I mean, but it is a Pixar movie. But yeah, Pixar movies they're not flawless. We had a bomb of a Pixar movie that came out last year. Elio bombed, and I remember the anti-DCU James Gunn people. They were thinking that Elio was gonna they were rooting for Elio. They said, "Oh, it's a Pixar movie," and it fucking bombed because it came out around the same time as Superman, and it bombed. Toy Story 5, yeah, that's already a known franchise, so it might do well, but I don't know. I guess we'll see when it comes to that. Let's see. Was there any questions? Elio didn't. Oh yeah, they didn't do any good marketing on that. I was like, I barely saw anything for it, but I mean, even with that, I think they were just banking on. Okay, we don't have. Okay, no questions when it comes to YouTube. Get rid of that. All right, and then I ran a poll before I started right here. We're coming up to 1,000 votes. It said, did the new footage of Puppy Krypto for the Supergirl movie move the needle for you? 47% has said, yes, I love him. 32% said, I still feel the same. 7% said, I'm losing interest. 14% said, still not seeing it. And then, of course, I ran a poll yesterday on who you got for the Super Bowl. And, of course, 53% said Seahawks, which they chose wisely. And then 14 said Patriots. And then 33 were like, commercials. That's what it's all about, commercials. And then, of course, posting some of the He-Man stuff, doing all of that. And, yeah, and then I posted about the Christopher Nolan one. I said, Christopher Nolan is getting backlash for the rumor that Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen of Troy in The Odyssey. Are you worried about the movie? 35% said, not at all. 13%, I am a little. This movie is doomed. 12% said, I don't care. So there's mostly people just don't care. So that's good. That's good. So there you go, guys. I think Toy Story 4 made $1 billion. Did it make $1 billion? Let's look it up right here. I'm looking it up. I still have box office. Yeah, you're right. All right. So, yeah, I guess there should be worry about it. That came out 6 years ago, though. 7 years ago. Forget it. That's 2019. So it came out 7 years ago. Yeah. So it could still. Yeah. It's a good point there, Darren. It's a good point. It's a very good point. And they're going to market the shit out of it. I mean, they did have like a Levi's commercial when it showed like Woody coming out and he was wearing Levi's jeans. So yeah. So yeah, I guess Toy Story, Toy Story 5 should do. Will it make $1 billion? Who knows? But it probably will be up there. It'll probably make a lot. Lightyear did flop, but that was because there was controversy behind it. It was a different story. I actually thought Lightyear was actually pretty decent, but I understood why it flopped. I understood a little bit why it flopped. Because, it was like, okay, we're going to do a live action. It's not Tim Allen. And I didn't care about the whole controversy about the lesbian, whatever the hell. It wasn't even that egregious. It was like not even that big of a point. So, but you know how it is nowadays. But Toy Story 5, they market it right. It could make $1 billion this year. Who knows? But I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see, you guys. All right. That is today's show. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And leave a comment. Leave a comment. Helps the algorithm. If you want to just say like, hey, good show, Dave. Do something. I don't know. You do all that. Much appreciated. You guys have a good rest of your Monday. Of course, follow me on the Sock Meds. Follow me on Twitter, X. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me, even Facebook, I post on there. Follow me on TikTok. But, as long as you're following me on YouTube, that's all the best. But like I said, Twitter is the most active I'm on, of course. Have a good rest of your Monday. Have a good Tuesday. I'll see you guys for Members Only Film Junkee Live on Wednesday. And, of course, DC Fanimated will be back. And, should have a good time. Good rest of the week and everything. All right, guys. Patreon, of course. I'll have my post show on Patreon. So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, subscribe to the Patreon. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later.